That's a montage of some of the young prospects, exciting prospects. And this is one of the great things that was recently added by Major League Baseball. For the second consecutive year, many of the great prospects that you've heard about and read about and maybe seen, they will get their own showcase during the course of spring training. We call it Spring Breakout. Games can be seen right here on MLB Network. There's the schedule. We got the roster reveal coming March 6th at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's when the Major League
right here on MLB Network.
Best prospects are all, they go head-to-head via in Arizona or in Florida. And no better person to talk about prospects than Sam Dykstra, who covers the prospects in the minor leagues for MLB.com. You can also find him on Blue Sky at Sam Dykstra MLB. And he's coming to us from the Starship Enterprise in New York City. Good to see you, Sam. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, maybe this is the pipeline deck of the Enterprise.
Oh, I like where you're at there. So let's talk about some of these prospects as we've got spring breakout just a few weeks away. It's hard to consider Roki Sasaki a prospect because so much is expected of him, but he is a prospect nonetheless and the top prospect in Major League Baseball currently. What should people know about him that we don't already know?
Yeah, I mean, I get it that some people don't want to consider him a prospect, but he did sign under international signing rules for $6.5 million. So we have to consider him a prospect under our stipulations. The thing that stood out to me this week is our Sonia Chen reported that he threw live BP in front of dozens of Dodgers. I mean, I think if you were the cousin of a Dodger, you were there watching Roki Sasaki on Wednesday because there was so much interest in how this guy's stuff plays. Everybody was raving about his splitter. We know it's really good. It's an 80-grade pitch. The thing that stands out to me and what I want to see this spring out of Roki Sasaki is where's the velo? Because when he was courting teams this offseason and deciding where he wanted to sign, one of the things he asked them was, hey, I was averaging 97 last year. That's down from 99 in 2023. What are you going to do to help me get that velo back? And then he chose the Dodgers. So apparently he liked what he heard in his meetings with LA. What are they going to do? I know it's early spring. We're not going to be expecting him to come out throwing 102. I get that, but he's somebody who's ramping up. They've already said they expect him to start in the Tokyo series. That's coming up here real quick. We saw Yamamoto pitch yesterday. Sasaki's stateside debut can't be too far behind.
No, you nailed it. I think the big thing with if I was courting him, I'd have said, well, you'll get that fastball back because you've been pitching all year round. We're going to rest you a little bit, and then you're going to get cut loose. I just think it's fascinating. We got a glimpse at him other than any other prospect probably in the world because we saw him at the WBC. Yeah. And we got a chance to see with our own eyes what he can do and what everybody's coveting. So that's going to be fun, be able to watch him throw. I don't have any much more to ask you on that. So we're going to move on to the next. I'm saying go ahead. Text me. Go ahead. Test me.
Hey, and it's spring training for the umpires, too. Dodgers go on to win 12-4. But getting back to Bobby Miller. Dave Roberts saying after the game that he is in concussion protocol. The Dodgers will monitor him for a couple of days before figuring out how his return to baseball activities will look. Bobby Miller did tweet after the game, thanks to everyone who has reached out. Really means a lot. Scary moment. I'm good. All praise to the man above. Can't wait to get back on the mound. Bobby, that is excellent news. We'll continue to root for you. Definitely good stuff. As for the game itself, you saw that little bit of history there. The ABS Challenge, Max Muncy was involved in it. He was at the plate. This is what he had to say after the game.
I was pretty positive it was a strike, and then the umpire balled it. It's also the first game for the umpires as well. So they're still pointing in their zones, but it was a pitch that I definitely thought was a strike. He balled it, and I look out, and the pitcher seemed very excited to challenge that one. And yeah, when he challenged it, I knew it was going to get overturned. And I went, oh man, I'm going to be the first one on this. That's great. It also kind of helps you when you see that. You can kind of know where that ball was in your mind, where the zone's at, so you can kind of tell if there's more to go or not. And so I think the idea is very interesting of it. To me, I feel like you have to be 100% certain to challenge. You can't. It's not one of those ones where you think it's borderline. Like maybe you have to be 100% certain. And in that scenario, obviously, like I said, I thought it was a strike coming in, and the pitcher thought so too, so he challenged it. But, yeah, I don't think it's something that I would ever use if I was borderline on a call.
Max Muncy brings up a great point. there is a big element of strategy once this thing is implemented. You're allowed 2 challenges. You retain them if you challenge correctly. But the strategy is you don't want to burn your challenges early in a game, and because you only get 2. So it is interesting to see how teams are going to implement this.
See, I look at it, who am I facing? Like if I'm facing Garrett Cole, and I know he's lights out. You know the minute he throws to the first hitter, is he on today or is he not? I'm using it early because I'm not sitting there going, well, I'll save it for the 5th inning.
Yeah.
I may be out of that game 5-0, and I got no shot. If I have an opportunity early to get to Garrett Cole, I'm just using him as an example, or Paul Skeens, or whoever these top elite pitchers are, you may only have 1 or 2 opportunities early to beat them.
Yeah.
So the strategy comes down to who you're facing, what's the situation. I'm not using it on an opener. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a reminder, this ABS system is not going to be used once the season begins in 2025. They're just testing it out right now at certain spring training stadiums in both Florida and Arizona. What happens in 2026, who knows, but it won't be used for the 2025 regular season.
In that case, and what you're talking about for spring, you want them using it.
Yeah.
So we can see if it works.
Yeah.
You know, how is it, and how long will it take? How efficient is it? You know, because time is a big thing, right? We've reduced games now, and the last thing you want to do is give time back because you're challenging stuff and it's taking forever for it. Oh, we're under a hood. We got to figure it out. We'll get back. So this system seems to be working.
Guys, do we still have the graphic of the rules? Just real quick, just to kind of put a bow on it. Here we go. You're only allowed the 2 challenges. And here's the interesting part, Harold, that only the batter, the pitcher, or the catcher can challenge.
Yeah,
so these 2 managers can't be, hey, challenge.
Yeah, you want to make it as natural to the game as possible. Like, that's not a strike. Challenge. You know, it can't be, hey, let me see a replay over there, guys. Let's see if I was close or not.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely when you're watching these spring training games in Arizona and Florida, hopefully they're in stadiums that have the ABS challenge system. It's a really, really cool system. I've seen it work in real time at some of the minor league stadiums, so we'll have to continue.
Hey, before we move on, I want to go back to Bobby Miller real quick.
Oh, okay.
I remember, well, we got Shohei expected to begin playing.
Yeah, this is from Bob Nightingale.
We'll go through this, and then I want to come back and talk about Bobby Miller.
Yeah, so Ohtani, who, of course, is recovering from both the elbow injury suffered when he was with the Angels, and then he had that injury to his shoulder at the World Series. They're hoping that he's going to be a DH by the end of the month, and he hopes to return to the mound in May. Bob Nightingale goes on to tweet, Shohei Ohtani, who pitched out of the stretch with the Angels, has now been experimenting with a full windup in Dodger bullpen sessions. So I find that very interesting. But first of all, I like the old school windup. I think there's still some value in that, but, you know, far be it from me to say.
I'm with you. And here's where, you know, we're all trying to be more efficient, right? Throw strikes, all that. I take Taijuan Walker, for example, right? When he was out of a stretch in Seattle, he went out of that inverted stretch. It seemed like every pitch is easy. You're throwing batting practice. Because every hitter, when somebody's throwing BP to you, the guy turns this way and he throws it to you. Turns this way and throws it to you. The windup gives you a different timing mechanism as a hitter to throw you off. That's why you see some guys go, boom.
Nestor Cortez.
Exactly. Or I pause. You can do a lot of that. You can't do that in the, here's my batting practice delivery. My stuff will overpower you. It's the big leagues. So I love the fact Ohtani's going to a windup.
I also wonder when he uses that windup, or when any pitcher uses the windup, it seems to me, a layperson, that you would get more velocity, more rhythm, more power from your body, maybe relieves a little stress on your arm, on your shoulder, on your elbow. So I'm interested to see how that plays out.
I think that'd be good. I like it. So Bobby Miller, he gets hit by the line drive.
Yeah, he's in concussion protocol.
Yeah, and I think it's important for him to get back on the mound as soon as possible. I remember when Andy Pettitte years ago got hit in the head, and after he got hit, it seemed like every pitch he threw, he was ducking. Throw a pitch and duck. And you got to get, and rightfully so.
Yeah, natural.
But you got to get back there and eventually get back to, okay, the ball's not going to hit me. So the longer I think you sit out and wait and think about it, and more, is the likelihood of being very tough to come back and have the courage and the rhythm to get right back there and expect it.
Well, like you said, thankfully it was not worse.
それでは 次回の試合でまたお会いしましょう。皆さん、今日の試合も本当に素晴らしかったですね。ドジャースの選手たちが見せてくれたパフォーマンスには、ただただ圧倒されました。特に、佐々木の存在感は際立っていました。彼の球速、スプリッターの切れ味、そして何よりもマウンド上での落ち着きと自信に満ちた姿勢を見て、改めてこの若き才能が持つポテンシャルの大きさを実感しました。世界中の野球ファンが彼の投球に注目しているのも納得です。これからのメジャーリーグで、彼がどのような活躍を見せてくれるのか、本当に楽しみですね。そして、大谷翔平の挑戦もまた興味深いものです。彼がフルワインドアップを試しているというニュースには、多くのファンが驚いたのではないでしょうか。これまでのピッチングスタイルを変えるということは、それだけ大きな決断であり、新たな可能性を追求する強い意志の表れでもあります。メジャーリーグでのさらなる進化を目指し、自分の限界を押し広げようとする姿勢には、感動すら覚えます。シーズンが進むにつれて、彼の投球スタイルがどのように変化していくのか、そしてその結果がどのように現れるのか、引き続き注目していきたいと思います。それにしても、ボビー・ミラーの無事が確認できたのは、本当に安堵しました。試合中のアクシデントはいつ何が起こるかわからないからこそ、見ている側にとっても緊張感がありました。彼自身も、きっと一瞬の出来事に驚いたことでしょう。しかし、その後の彼のメッセージからは、自分は大丈夫だ、という強い意志が感じられました。こうした困難を乗り越えてこそ、選手はさらに成長するものです。彼がまたマウンドに立ち、力強いピッチングを披露する日が来ることを楽しみにしています。今日の試合では、新たな試みとして ABS チャレンジシステムが導入され、その戦略性についての議論が活発に行われました。このシステムが正式に導入されるかどうかはまだ決まっていませんが、今日の試合を見る限り、試合の流れに新たな要素を加える可能性は十分にあります。特に、どのタイミングでチャレンジを使うかという駆け引きは、試合をより面白くする要素となり得ます。実際に、選手たちが審判の判定に対して即座に判断し、チャレンジを行う姿は非常に興味深いものでした。野球は単なる身体能力の勝負ではなく、頭脳戦の要素も強いスポーツです。こうした新たな技術の導入が、どのように試合に影響を与えていくのか、今後の展開が非常に楽しみです。それにしても、こうした選手たちの挑戦と進化を間近で見られるのは、メジャーリーグならではの醍醐味です。毎試合、新しいドラマが生まれ、選手たちは成長し続けていきます。シーズンが進むにつれて、彼らのプレーがどのように変化し、どのような試合が展開されていくのか、期待せずにはいられません。特に、ドジャースというチームは、才能ある選手たちが集まり、お互いに切磋琢磨しながら進化し続ける環境が整っています。個々の選手の成長だけでなく、チーム全体の結束力が高まっていく様子を見守るのも、ファンにとっては大きな楽しみの一つでしょう。これからの試合では、さらに多くの見どころが待っています。若手選手の台頭、ベテラン選手の貢献、新たな戦略の導入、すべてがシーズンの行方を左右する重要な要素です。特に、今シーズンのドジャースは、戦力が充実し、優勝に向けて大きな期待が寄せられています。もちろん、シーズンは長く、困難な試合もあるでしょう。しかし、選手たちは常に前を向き、全力で戦い続けます。そして、そんな彼らを支えるのは、何よりもファンの皆さんの応援です。皆さんの声援が、選手たちの力となり、さらなるパフォーマンス向上につながるのです。これからも、ドジャースの最新情報、試合のハイライト、注目選手の活躍をお届けしていきますので、ぜひチャンネル登録をお願いします。そして、皆さんのご意見や感想もコメント欄でお待ちしています。今日の試合で最も印象的だったプレーは何だったか、どの選手に注目しているのか、これからの試合で期待していることは何か、ぜひ、皆さんの考えを聞かせてください。ファン同士で語り合いながら、ドジャースのシーズンを一緒に楽しんでいきましょう。次の試合も全力で応援しましょう。これからのシーズンが、皆さんにとって最高のものになりますように、ドジャースと共に、熱い戦いを見届けましょう。